Hey guys, it's Barrett. So today I'm going to be showing you my one bedroom apartment here in Tokyo. The last time I did an apartment tour here in Tokyo, it was for my 1K studio, 1K meaning one room and a kitchen. Today it's going to be a 1LDK, which means a one bedroom, living room, dining area and kitchen. I'm going to show you as much as I can about this place. So come on, let's take a look. I live in an area called Kyoto. It's in Tokyo's Setagaya ward and about 15 minutes west of Shinjuku, which is one of Tokyo's downtowns. So Tokyo is one of the largest cities in the world. There's almost 14 million people in the city and more than 37 million in the greater metropolitan area. And Tokyo is currently said to have the largest economy of any city in the world. So in short, it's a massive city, and so space comes at a premium. Now, there are two basic types of apartments in Japan. One is apato, and those are usually smaller buildings, probably less insulated, but cheaper to rent. And the other is the mansion type, which is this type here. They're often bigger, they use more concrete, and are generally more expensive to rent. My rent here, including monthly fees, is 180,000 yen per month. So the actual amount in US dollars depends on the exchange rate. I just used $1,800 to make it a little bit easier to understand. Now that price doesn't include any utilities, and of course there's initial costs and all of that, so be sure to check some of the links in the description for more information. This is the main entrance. There's a little loading and unloading zone here, and parking is over there under the tracks, and that'll cost you extra per month. There's a little waiting area in here just inside the doors, and a little rock garden here for decoration. This is the first security point. Residents can either use their key or swipe their train card to get in. And if you have a package waiting, there's a notification that will come up here. This is the lobby area. There's a front desk and building management office in the back. The staff here are really nice. They always greet you and say bye to you when you leave, and then they'll welcome you back when you return. And they provide some services such as helping you schedule pickups, ship out stuff, get dry cleaning done, but of course it does cost extra. And there's a sofa here to wait, and then there's a meeting area right there. And there's a couple of vending machines as well in case you're thirsty. So next to the front desk is this mail area. Each apartment has a small mailbox for paper mail and smaller items. And then there are these larger boxes for packages. So in Japan, most of the time you can choose windows of a few hours at a time for when you want your package delivered. But if something arrives when you're not at home, the mailman can leave it in these mailboxes here. You can unlock these boxes by using your train card, and like I just said, you get a notification that you have a box when you return home, and there's a light that goes off in your apartment intercom as well. So outside here, there's a little courtyard area. Unfortunately, as with most buildings in Japan, there's no barbecue area, and there's no outdoor lounges or anything, and there's no rooftop access either. So it's really not used all that much. I'll show you a little bit more around the vicinity of the complex because this kind of thing is really related to the costs, and not every area in Tokyo is the same, but I'll do that after this apartment tour, so stick around for that. So there's another security door that you have to go through. It can be a pain sometimes, especially if you're carrying a lot of stuff, and you also have to ring people in twice. There are two elevators here. They're both kind of small, maybe because we're on a smaller wing with less floors, but they're on the modern side since this building was built in 2010. I notice a lot of buildings in Japan are like this, where they have sections of the building that are technically separated from each other. I think it's for earthquakes because it allows each section of the building to sway on their own, so I guess that's good. And here's the apartment. There's a doorbell and a rack for umbrellas. And this is what is called the genkan, or the entrance area. We take off our shoes here because it's probably dirty and we don't want to bring it inside, obviously. So to the left of the main hallway is the toilet. It's separate from the shower so that when you use one, it doesn't take up the other. Plus the toilet is dirty and showers are for getting clean, right? So it's got a remote, a bidet, you can control the temperature and strength, and there's a drying function as well. And then there's a big flush and small flush option so that you're not using the max amount of water each time you flush. And to the right is the bedroom. It's nothing fancy. It's really kind of small, especially with that big TV that I've kept for some reason for several years in the corner. The bed is a full-size bed. It's pretty hard to find a bedroom that can accommodate a bigger size bed in Tokyo. So this is pretty much what we could fit in reasonably. There are a couple of windows, so we get pretty decent light coming in. And then there's an AC unit and a light fixture up above as well. Closet space is a little tight in this apartment, especially for two people living in a place that has a winter. So we're pretty maxed out here, as you can see. So because that closet is a little tight, we had to convert our hallway closet into a clothing closet as well. So we're using these drawers, which are from Muji, and we installed these hangers here and shelf just to pretty much fit as much stuff in here that we could. So it's really not nice to look at, but we needed the space. And across the closet is the bathroom. It's a sliding door for some reason. So I think it's a pretty decent size, definitely bigger than my last apartments that I lived in. We have a washing machine here, which is really convenient to have, obviously. And this is my third apartment in Japan, but this is the first time I've had the option to use hot water to wash clothes. So you control it here. This is the hot knob and this is the cold water knob. There's a sink here, heated mirror cabinets up there, a small closet here for towels and stuff. And now the shower. So it's a flat floor and bathtub unit. This is the controls for the shower, and the shower is a handheld one. You can either latch it up here or you can put it up here and then adjust the height on this vertical pole here. This is the controls for the bathtub. You can have it heat the water to the temperature you want, fill up the tub to the amount that you want. You can have it circulate the water to keep the temperature steady, as well as reheat water that you already have in there. But what's great about the shower is that it doubles as a dryer for your clothes. So this vent up here will do that. You can just hang your clothes on this bar and run it, and it'll dry over a few hours, which is a while, but it's actually better than the dryers usually because it doesn't use that intense heat and doesn't make your clothes feel all crispy and weird. So I like that, especially in the winter when it's cold and wet outside. And you control that here on this control panel. And you can adjust the time that you want it to run for. Okay, now for the living room and kitchen area. The kitchen area is in this corner here, but it's not blocked off or anything. There's a sink and drying rack. Very small counter space, which tends to be pretty common in Japan for some reason. I find that strange because Japanese meals usually have a bunch of different dishes and there's really no space to cook all of that. Rice cooker, of course, and a gas stove with 3 burners and a grill for cooking fish. The burners have a sensor, so it shuts off if it senses that it gets too hot or that you're actually not cooking anything on it, which is pretty cool. And over here we have our fridge. The fridge is a little bit small because we're using the one that my wife was using when she used to live by herself. But it's not so bad because it forces us to have fresh food all the time, and it gives us little nook here for our trash. Unfortunately, for cans and bottles and stuff, we have to put it separately over here, but oh well. And this is our microwave that doubles as an oven. So there's automatic settings for all kinds of things like chicken karaage, which is like fried chicken, chawanmushi, which is an egg custard, chocolate cake, toast. I mean, it says there's like 31 different settings here, which is pretty cool. And my wife uses this to make things like Thanksgiving turkey and ribs too, so it's really pretty good and convenient. This here is another control panel, which you can control the bath. So you can pretty much turn on the bath and get it ready while you're doing stuff in the kitchen. And then this here is the intercom. So when somebody rings the doorbell downstairs, we can see who it is and we can buzz them in. And we can also see if we have a package that was delivered and we just didn't pick it up. So this is our living room area. We got a bit greedy and got a sofa that is a little bit too big for the amount of space that we have, but whatever. Most of the stuff we have in here is from IKEA. So these coffee tables here, these shelves on the side of the TV and the TV stand as well. We meant to sell the shelf that's on this side here, this brown one, because it was from before, but we just didn't really get around to it. And I bought this picture frame from IKEA and I did not buy the picture to put it in, so that's kind of a waste. The total space of this apartment is around 47 square meters, which is about 506 square feet. That is actually slightly larger than a lot of the one-bedroom apartments that we saw when we're looking around, so that is really nice. So on this shelf here, we have a toaster oven that we usually use for toasting bread and sometimes making casseroles and stuff. This is my wife's granola. She's into making her own granola these days, which is kind of cool because it tastes really good. Some matcha making things, Nespresso machine here, hot water pot, some coffee and tea stuff and some snacks kind of thrown in there. And then below we have a cabinet, which is something that we bought and added in because this space, we kind of needed it. We don't have a lot of space. It's a very, very narrow cabinet. And we just use it to store things like mugs and cups, glasses. Then over here is my little makeshift work from home office. I've been working from home pretty much since COVID started. And we're hybrid right now, but I've pretty much just been working at home. And this is where I do all my video and photo editing. So everything I've made recently has been made right here. Okay, here's the balcony. There are sliding doors to either side of this window that go out here. One thing that we really liked about this place was that one, there was a balcony, and two, it was bigger than all the other places we saw. So we can put chairs out here and tables and sit and have lunch. This is where we hang our laundry to dry. So we have a couple poles here and you can adjust them. So you can bring this down like that or lock it upright. And then down here, this is the fire escape. So you can lift this up here and you can crank this crank that's located in there and it'll lower a ladder down to the floor below you. So if you look up above, this is the fire escape from the apartment right above us. And you just keep doing that and you can get to the ground floor. We don't have a great view because there's like a lot of buildings right around us, but it's not too bad because we face the street down below. So this is the street below and we're our corner unit, which is very nice. And then if you look way out there, I don't know if you can see it, but that's the Shinjuku skyline. Okay, so that's pretty much it for the actual apartment. As you can tell, it was pretty loud outside on the balcony with all the cars and the trains passing by. So luckily the windows are double pane, so it pretty much blocks everything out. So it's pretty quiet in here. But that's pretty much it. So let's go down and I'll show you around the place a little bit outside because it's a huge factor in price. So let's go. Before I head out, I'll show you the trash room. There's a section for burnable trash, cardboard boxes, non-burnables, milk cartons, glass, cans, plastic bottles, and large items which you have to purchase a sticker and have it picked up. Overall, Tokyo is a little less strict than the more countryside areas, I think, but we still need to separate everything, which I've gotten used to actually. I think it's actually weird not to do it. The complex is managed by Otokyu, which is a large company in Japan. They're in real estate, they have train lines, a department store. So it's nice because this whole promenade here is managed by them. And there are people constantly keeping it clean. they'll sweep and trim trees, they'll put up lights in the winter, so it's really nice. And like I was saying, location itself is another huge factor. Tokyo has 23 wards, and I guess you could kind of compare it to boroughs in New York. Setagaya here is a larger ward. It's mostly residential, and it's probably in the middle as far as average prices go. But of course, it also depends on the station and how far you are from the station. Kyoto is a great area. There's a lot of good restaurants and places to eat. People are also pretty decent and more or less well-mannered. There are more wild places in Tokyo, just to let you know. But yeah, I really like this area. The train line itself is also one of the most important factors, and then whether or not express trains stop there or not. So at Kyoto Station, which is only a 5-minute walk away from my apartment, which makes it a little bit more expensive, has the express trains stop, but not the faster rapid express ones. There's only one train line, which is the Oda-Q line. It goes directly into Shinjuku Station, but there are also some trains that become the Chiyoda line. And what train line you're on is also important, and Chiyoda, at least to me, is one of the better train lines in Tokyo. And so there you go. That's really what I'm getting in Tokyo for around $1,800 a month. I'll leave links that you might find interesting or informative in the description below, so be sure to check them out. I hope you found this interesting. Please leave a like and subscribe, and if you know somebody that might find this interesting as well, feel free to share it with them. Thank you again for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.